This video is all about how I painted this portrait, how I got it into the Scottish Portrait Awards, and how I feel about it now.
Mr. Neil Conning painting.
Hold on, I've got to get the oil, the linseed oil, which I noticed it spilled out everywhere. It's a bit annoying. So there was no video last week because I was away in Derry with the students. So I teach architecture at Edinburgh University. So we take students on a work trip every year. And this year, like last year, we went to Derry, which is an interesting place. I would have liked to have taken the paints, but I just didn't really have the time. Rude. I did, however, do a lot of sketchbook pages because also in this month, in October, I know a lot of people do Inktober, other challenges like that. So we, in our little Kenyo community, we have this sketchbook challenge just to fill a sketchbook in a month. Now I've set myself quite a difficult challenge with the moleskin. It's got 104 pages. That's a page, not that. So it's like 60 odd pages. And it worked out that's 3¼ pages a day. That's pretty tough going. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it. I've given it a really good go, and I've got some pages I'm quite pleased with. I mean, got some stuff I'm thinking, yeah, nice. Anyway, so I did a lot of drawing in Derry, the students working away, airport stuff. I'll do a full proper tour of this when it's done, because I think at the moment it's shaping up to be one of my favourite sketchbooks I've ever done. So yeah, so I'm working away on that. It's today, recent. So working away on that a wee bit. But other news too in the last week's been away. This painting, which I'm quite happy with, got an honourable mention in the Almenara Art Prize. Almenara. Yeah, I think it means beacon. But it's good. It's like a Spanish RA or something like that. Anyway, I've got an honourable mention, so really happy. Painting doesn't get to go to the exhibition because of the mention, but that's okay. But then, just like a day later, I learned that this painting did get accepted into this year's ING Discerning Eye, which is at the Mall Galleries in London. So I'm really happy to be in that. It's always good to be sending something down to there. So before I do that, I need to get it framed. So I've got this nice frame. So I'm going to be oiling this up, and then it's on a panel, so I'll make some little strips so that it sits at the right height. So I'm going to be doing that. But that's not really what this video is about. Today this video is about another bit of success that a different painting had. This is this painting you see now. So this is a portrait I did a wee while ago of somebody from our little Kenyo community, a really nice young guy called Abdullah. Shared this reference, and I was interested in it because it was exploring, or it felt like a continuation of some master studies that I've done. So I've done a few Rembrandt studies, right? I'm not trying to copy, I'm trying to learn from. So I've done a couple of those over the past few years. I feel like I learned a lot from them, and I really wanted to find the right kind of reference, the right situation where I could do my own kind of version. Like, I realise how silly that sounds, right? Idea of doing your own Rembrandt. But I'm not so grandiose that I really think I can paint like Rembrandt. But I know that I can learn from Rembrandt. That's the point of doing master copies, master studies. So that's what I think I've done. So this painting, I'm really pleased that I was able to get into the Scottish Portrait Awards. I actually got into the Scottish Portrait Awards a couple of years ago in 2022 with a different painting. Slightly different, slightly more illustrative back then. It's not that long ago. But actually the painting was done a year prior to that, so. But yeah, it's a slightly different vibe to the painting. Although in some ways I can see some similarities. But yeah, so managed to get in again this year, 2024. There's an exhibition in the Scottish Arts Club in Edinburgh, in Rutland Square. And then it goes up to Duff House, which I think is in Aberdeenshire, Inverness or something. I'm not sure. I have to look that up. And then it comes back down to the Central Belt, to Glasgow, which is where I currently am. And is going to be in somewhere there. Information on the screen if you're interested. Yeah, so we had the opening night, went there. It was good. I met Fred, who's a sort of Kenyo collaborator who lives up in Aberdeen somewhere, escaping, I guess. I don't know what he's doing up there. I even gave a little lecture on the painting. I mean, everyone did. That wasn't just me. And it was good. Met a lot of nice people. The winner, if anyone's interested, by the way, is this painting. Graham Wilcox. A great painter. It's monumental. I really liked it. And what was interesting is sometimes paintings can be a bit brown town. It's too brown. Just like turns off. This is like very brown, but somehow doesn't become mucky. It's a rich brown. It's a rich, warm, cardigan, kind of domestic living room kind of brown. Maybe something slightly from the past. That big fluffy dressing gown. As I'm talking about the painting and the recording, I think I'll offer my own critique towards the end. I think this painting revealed something fundamentally wrong with my painting practice. But I'll talk about it at the end. So let's get into the painting. Beep-doop. So here's the palette. It's quite a reduced palette, really, just trying to get a nice balance between transparent darks and opaque lights. That's kind of the whole idea behind it. I don't use any black for the portrait, but I do use it for the background, which is why I've put it to the side like that. So one thing of this is I really discovered transparent oxide red. I think I used to use raw umber and alizarin, but now I'm more into this transparent oxide red. It's pretty nice. So you'll see I did an initial little drawing there. Not much. I don't want to be constrained by it. It's just to kind of map out the key bits and then just do a kind of blocking. But here, this idea of the transparency is really important, right? So I'm trying to make sure I keep a lot of transparency with only that really bright area, that makes a kind of island of light is going to be opaque. So even at this stage, or even when the paint is thin, I'm still sort of sticking to that idea of transparent shadows and opaque lights. So here I'm just showing in the reference, how to kind of feel and read that. And that's something that I really learned from the Rembrandt copies, This is such a strong compositional move that Rembrandt uses, and other painters from the past, is these kind of largely dark with these just islands of opaque lights. And I think I really wanted to try and catch that. First of all, it's the composition, so you make sure you group those islands together. And then secondly, it's in the application of the paint, so the thin sort of shadow masses means that something of the canvas shines through. You get a kind of luminous shadow rather than a kind of dead shadow. And the opaque paint in the light areas catches the light, which further makes it seem more kind of brilliant. So here you could see that after the initial blocking, I started to expand the value range in both the darks and the lights, and just kind of sculpt out the face. This shape of that hoodie, the purple, I think that's so important to make this work. It kind of puts it into time as well. It's these little bits of clothing that put it into a time period, I think is really good. So I think you can also see here that, you know, that there is some deviation from the photograph, and that's why I really don't like overdrawing or copying too much. You know, the painting's its own thing. I think the likeness is there. There's something in that, you know, muzzle, right, of the mouth, that kind of pout. But clearly the proportions have changed a little bit, and I'm kind of okay with that. I don't think it matters too much. You know, sometimes these mistakes are really just what make you unique as a painter. So again, that purple hoodie becomes important in the portrait as well, with that reflected light just catching the edge of the chin and having a few more passages of that purple up through in the transitions between the shadow in the cheek and the opaque area of the cheek. I think that worked pretty well. The other thing I think that worked well was the eyes, not painting too much in there and just really letting that transparent oxide red shine through to give a kind of warm orangey feel to it. You see that? Yeah, I think that kind of worked. So here's some close-ups so you can kind of really get a sense of that difference between the thin and the thick. I think it worked pretty well. But I was going to talk a little bit about a problem, an issue in my painting practice. And it's a conversation I had with one of the judges afterwards. Reading between the lines of what they were saying, I think there's a lack of narrative in this painting. I mean, what is it? It's a portrait, another head. I think some of the paintings that were really powerful in the work had a little bit more of a hinterland, right? They had a bit of backstory, something else that was, you know, a meta to the picture, if you like. And in this painting, and actually a lot of my paintings don't have that. And so looking ahead, I think I'm going to really start to address that and trying to think about not just doing head studies, but trying to put them to serve a kind of greater purpose. I think I do that sometimes, although I don't really like articulating it. But I think I'm going to try a little harder to be more exact about that, or more, not exact, but more deliberate about it. Well, anyway, thanks for watching this, and I hope you got a wee bit out of it. I enjoy making these videos as a wee reflection back over things. So, thanks for watching.